Hey, it's Jamie Baker Orr with Keller Williams Performance Realty in Pueblo, Colorado, and we're here at the event center downtown. It's actually part of the PBR Sports Performance Center where athletes are trained from all around the world. So there's PBR bull riders that train here, football players, volleyball players that come in and train with Antwon, who we'll be doing our interview with. It's located in the heart of downtown Pueblo, so this is actually our convention center, and it's right by the River Walk, which is a nice tour section for people that are visiting or staying at the Courtyard Marriott. So hope you like this interview. Okay, so we're here with Antwon Burton from the PBR Sports Performance Center, which was just opened here recently. So when did they open, Antwon?
We actually had our ribbon cutting, I want to say May 3rd.
May 3rd.
May 3rd. We got our keys late July, early August.
Great. You know, you're a professional athlete, so I think a lot of people say, why would a professional athlete come to Pueblo?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what would draw you here? And
Very beautiful life.
yes. And what made you stay?
I just felt like it was like opportunity. I think from where I come from, like Buffalo, it's kind of like that. It's like Pueblo. It's like that blue collar, kind of underdog kind of mentality, and that's a part of who I am. And I've been around like the world, and to understand being in California or New York or even Denver, when I played with the Broncos, it's a little harder. It's not as hard here, but it's like a conundrum because it is hard because the level at which you kind of operate is it's a gap in between there, and I feel like I can fill that gap.
Yes.
I feel like from my experiences and the things that I've done and the people who I've met, I can open that up to people and create a doorway, not only to north down I-25, but Earth, the world.
Right.
And that is that's always been my goal, to be honest with you.
Right. And you've been amazing at that and communicating it to other people. I mean, that's why you're so great at what you do. So, and your story is so unique because everybody sees you as an NFL superstar and they don't realize that where you came from was definitely not that. That you had a harder growing up.
For sure.
And you've overcome so many, things in your life that you don't take anything for granted, and that's why I think you and I get along so well, is we've definitely earned our way.
Yeah,
like
for
we
sure.
know where we came from.
For sure.
And so we love that process, and I think, like me, I love being a teacher. So teaching other people how to do real estate and how to even be a business person. Yeah. I don't think I'm a great business person, but a lot of people do because of the success that I've had.
I gotta be honest, Jay, I ask you a lot of questions.
I know.
You are a business person.
Well,
you're top of my list when I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, thank you. So, so tell us a little bit how you got involved with PBR, and so we talked earlier when we were doing our intro about how athletes from across the nation come to train here. Professional bull riders. We've talked about the Columbine. Who else do you have coming to train in your facility?
We have anywhere from track athletes to basketball players to baseball players. I've always liked to keep a diverse portfolio, so to speak. I always knew that I didn't want to be this D-line guru or this football guy. I knew to be at the level of success that I wanted to be and where I was, meaning Pueblo, I had to do it all. And I always had a passion to do it all. And to be able to reach multiple people, like I trained you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I like people. I like mentoring people. I like training people. I feel like I can bring the best out of you. That's just,
That's the truth.
Sometimes people think you got to have, 8 doctorates and all these right angles and tell people all their muscles and bone structure. Like, most people don't want to hear that, including athletes, because I was one.
Right.
I just wanted to be in the best situation possible and be around people that supported my vision and knew enough to elevate me where I couldn't elevate myself.
Right.
I kind of fell a little ass backwards into this position, to be honest with you. But the vision that I had as far as aspiring to reach everybody, not one specific group of athlete, allowed the platform that I created to be seen by a higher entity. So here I am in Pueblo, Colorado. I've already brought in NFL athletes last year. The year before, I've trained elite level Major League Baseball players in Pueblo. But I kind of kept to myself, to be honest with you. And then a couple years ago, I created a media company and started showing these things. Obviously, we live in a digital world, and PBR kind of caught wind of that. And when all this came to be, as far as having a tourism grant, that this took about a little over a decade. It started in about 2007, 2008. And the city, Pueblo Urban Renewal, worked really hard, kind of keep it afloat. And then PBR came in to kind of have a conjoined entity to be able to build this $13.5 million facility.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And to have an international company like the PBR being right in our backyard, right on Union. It was kind of like that thing where you always have to be prepared, and you always have to have, everything's not supposed to drop to you perfect. And I always tell my athletes, or anybody who I'm around, everybody, it's like human nature to want a sure thing. And at the end of the day, all you can really ask for is opportunity.
Right.
But when you get that opportunity, you got to be prepared for that opportunity. But who knew that my opportunity would be training bull riders?
Right.
I wasn't trying to train bull riders. I didn't really even know what the PBR was. I knew I wanted to be great. I wanted to walk in my greatness. I knew I could motivate people. I knew I can train all levels, all different sports, because I was an open-minded person. I was a hard worker. Like you said, I've overcome a lot in my past, and I've experienced a lot. And that shined through, you know, my businesses, my coaching, my community work, and that allowed me the opportunity to be in a space like this. They seen the value in what I brought to the table, and I seen the value in what the PBR was. Being owned by a company, Endeavor, which is like the movie Entourage. They own 50% of the things that are on Netflix. The UFC, Miss America pageant, Miss Universe. They represent The Rock, Kevin Hart. They have, you know, a 36 tour circuit for the UTB as far as bull riding is concerned. I've already been to MSG, Madison Square Garden, Staples. Been to Las Vegas for the World Finals. They have a pretty far reach, and to be able to bring a tourism grant to somewhere like Pueblo and then allow someone who's lived in Pueblo but is considered an outsider that played for the Denver Broncos, it was like kind of and he just started this media company. It was like a perfect fit.
It is. It's a perfect mix.
Yeah. And from the outside looking in, it's probably obscure.
Yeah.
But it's more glove fit than what people really give it credit for.
Right. That's amazing. And the one thing I love about you is, so when we first met was probably 5 years ago?
5 or 6 years.
Yeah. So we've known each other a long time. And when we first met, you know, you said, oh, well, eventually we'll move, eventually we'll move, eventually we'll move. And now I don't hear that nearly as often. So we hope you don't move, because you're such an asset to the community and to our youth. I mean, the one thing that I really love about you and I respect about you is you're so willing to help kids, and that's my soft spot too, kids and older people, elderly. And we need that. I mean, I think we need somebody who trains at a certain level, who really sees the youth and is willing to give their time and their energy, because somebody like you could say, I really don't have time to deal with that level of an athlete, and you do, and it's greatly appreciated. I know that you're probably not told that enough, but thank you for donating your time.
It definitely, to be honest, it's harder than what people think. It's so funny. I was just thinking that today. These things like bringing in NFL athletes and all these things that seem like are insurmountable or just this big thing are kind of easy to me. The hard thing is to see myself and a lot of the kids and them not understand fully what I'm trying to get across to you.
Right.
Because when you sit in this position, you played in the NFL and you're in a small town, there's such a huge gap as far as understanding the level at which you can reach and the standard and how you conduct yourself. And the hardest thing for me has always been communication. That because of what I've accomplished, I'm not trying to put it in your face.
Right.
I'm trying to let you know there's a better way, to let you know that this is how you do it because I experienced it and I did it. And what else better than that person who actually did it? And in this day and age, we have so many people that, you know, live vicariously through other things and try to, you know, still steer people a different way. But that is always going to be a passion of mine. That's always going to be in my heart. But it's harder than what people think. Mm-hmm. It's harder than what people think, especially when you're working for a company that's this international company. Just like you said, it easily can be like, you know, I got to do X, Y, and Z. Right. But I was that kid on the east side. Right. I was that kid that went through trial and tribulation as a kid. I was that kid that was able to overcome my poverty, overcome family things that went on, and, you know, go on to college, get an associate's degree, get a bachelor's degree in psychology, go to Temple University, play in the NFL. Not only play in the NFL, try to transition out of the NFL. Right. And people don't understand how hard that is. There's so many guys out there that are broke, are addicted to things, and have all the excuses in the world and haven't been able to transition properly. And I felt I've been able to do that and kind of keep my wits about me and my confidence and my visions and my goals and my aspirations. And I know how hard that is. Right. Just like you know how hard it is to see where you've come from. And, all, you know, people like me and you, we really just want to share them. Yes. You know, because we know how hard it is. Right. But the bottom line of it is it's hard because not a lot of people want to keep going. Right. Once you knock down, it's a lot easier to say, I just don't want to do it anymore than to get back up and try it again. Yeah. So motivating people are harder than what you think. It is. I know. What do you see your vision? So right now you're here at the PBR, you're working with all these athletes. So I'd like to know, it could be community-wise, it could be personally, it could be business-wise. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? 5 to 10 years, I've never thought that way, to be honest. Really? I just, now this might sound a little arrogant. I'll set the tone. The tone. I think I can do anything I set my mind to. And I don't care what the circumstance, what the situation is, I'm going to figure it out. There's a lot of things that I feel I can do. And people will try to define you and what you are. Right. You're the trainer, you're the football player. Even just to be able to overcome that, I want to do as many businesses as I can. I want to be in real estate. I want to travel the world and be a motivational speaker. I want to build Western sports and build this facility as far as being a hub for athletes around the world. And this is with Denver down the road. This is with the Olympic Training Center down the road. And I just feel like where I'm at in the community I'm in, I want to be able to be a beacon and a light that shines so bright that not only do our people up north see what we're doing, but again, around the world. And I don't know how all of that is going to pan out. Mm-hmm. It's been going pretty good so far. It will. Yeah, that's one thing that we've always talked about is you can't teach drive. Yeah. Like you either have it or you don't. And that's why I think so many people respect you, including myself. When we're training, you're not afraid to do it with me or to get to that level. And I've seen you train with the other athletes, and you're amazingly fast. If anybody's seen our boxing videos, Antwon's the biggest fast guy I've ever met in my life. I don't know if you remember, because I don't get on social media as much as I did. Uh-huh. And for the first year I was in Pueblo, all I just would say is dream big. Right. Dream big. And look at what you've done. Like, it's amazing. And it's a start. Like, you and I always see things as a start. So when people, I have a vision, of course, same kind of vision, you know, taking my business to another level, being able to train, speak nationally, train agents. That's what I love to do. Overcome the objection, which is exactly what you're doing. You're saying the same things that I say all the time. In my soul, I've always thought I could do anything I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And I always thought maybe that came from my parents telling me that you're capable, you can do it, and you say the same things. And I really believe it's true. I think that's so crazy. Like, could I be a professional athlete? Probably not at my age, so I'm in reality. Yeah. But as far as business owning and being able to... Within your realm of expertise. Yeah, I think I could kill it. I think
we're on our way, you know, so we're already #1 in town, and now my goal is definitely statewide. So now my goal is way beyond our numbers here and building truly a successful team of amazing people. And so far, we got a great start at it. So that's awesome.
A lot of reason why I'm able to do what I'm doing, truth be told, my wife, my mom, my family, that's just a great support system for me. My team that worked with me at Next Level before this whole kind of thing went on with the PBR and SBC. And I have great friends in the community, such as yourself, that allow me to, because like I said, it's lonelier than what people think.
Right.
When you're trying to do something that nobody did, when you're trying to do something and you're always that person against the grain,
right.
It's a lonely place to be.
Right.
So you have to have real, true confidence, and that sometimes turns people off. You know what I mean? And you need a really good support system.
Right.
And not only does my family, my friends in the community of Pueblo, but I gotta be honest, like PBR, like welcomed me with open arms. And I've worked for the NFL. That was actually my only job I've ever had.
Yeah.
So I don't know how prestigious this is, but it's the greatest, people who have ever employed me. They definitely give me confidence. They definitely support my vision, and to be able to have a machine like that around you, and the expertise as far as our chief executives and the reach and the things that you can attach yourself to. That's why in my mind I just know it's going to be big.
Right.
I don't have all the answers, and I don't have it all organized and structured out, and this is going to go like this, and this. But I know I have all the tools and the resources to be successful, and that's one of the biggest things, that to acknowledge that you need help no matter how confident you are.
Or capable.
Mm-hmm. And to acknowledge the people who, truly care about you. And as long as you have that, as long as I have that, I feel like I really believe I can do anything I set my mind to.
I believe you too. So I know when we talk about football, it's very easy for you to reach out to football players because they relate easily to you. They see you and you guys have the same story, or you know what to expect. Mm-hmm. If you go to the NFL, this is how you prepare. Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that you don't just prepare them physically because they're already great athletes and you take them to the next level, but you also prepare them mentally, mm-hmm. and financially. I know you and I have talked about that, mm-hmm. the transition of you go from college student not making much money to a professional athlete, and you're making all this money and you tend to spend it all.
Yep.
Yeah. And then when you said that transition getting out, what I love about you is it's not, I'm going to train you and we're done. See you. You mean the NFL. I'll talk to you later. Yeah. You really have relationships with people throughout their
even the ones who don't make
lives.
It.
Right.
Because a lot of people out here are front runners, and they only train you because they think you're going to do X, Y, and Z. And when you don't do X, Y, and Z, those people fall off. And to me, I feel like that's a lack of integrity, and that's just not who I am. That's not who my mom raised. And that's no knock to anybody else. You know what I mean? To each his own. But there are a lot of people in this business at an elite level, at a youth level, and I just couldn't. I know how hard it was to even sit here today, be in this position, and it's not easy. And there's a lot of things that I learned along the way. There's a lot of things and conversations we had. And a lot of things are people's ego. It's so weird that I'm kind of looked at as this, confident and presence, but I ain't too confident to ask something I don't know.
Right.
I'm not too confident, or my ego's too big to ask for help, from someone in that field.
Right.
And there's these little simplicities that are, from where I come from, and that aren't really taught. And it's my goal to, even if you don't get it, that seed was at least planted, that you knew. Because there was a lot of times in my life I had no idea. I was ignorant to the fact. Mm-hmm. And sometimes ignorance is bliss, but not all the time.
Right.
So if I can Again, be that person who plants that seed in someone. Because I look back in my own life and my own experiences, and I feel lucky. I really do. I feel like I've had God's grace. I feel like I've had a great support system, a great family system. God, I'm so lucky that I got to share what I've done.
Right.
I got to share what I know, because I think I'm pretty awesome.
You are pretty awesome.
But I've been a dumbass a lot of times in my life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And sometimes I just got to share that. I just got to share the things that I've experienced. I got to share those and plant those seeds. And where I was a dumbass and I thought I knew it all. I thought I was walking right, or I thought I was, so great. And in actuality, I really wasn't. And self-awareness and understanding your surroundings will ultimately help you be progressive in life. To be able to acclimate yourself to your surroundings is harder than what people think. Because as a football player or an athlete or anything to where you move around, you're constantly in different groups. And when people come out of their comfort zone of what they're used to, they're not used to that change.
Right.
That's just the bottom line. And that's I don't want to go too deep into that. When you have conflict, most of the times it becomes resolution.
Right. It's a learning experience.
But when you don't address it, that conflict is always a part of you. So it took me a little while to even get to that place. And as I learn it, as I go through my journey, and I'm still learning.
Every day.
Every day.
That's what I tell people.
I'm still falling on my ass. You know what I mean? But I'm still getting up as well.
Right. That's amazing. You're a great guy. Thanks for everything. We built that relationship, so I respect you very much. And just what you've come in and done, because when we met, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go, this trainer is going to kill me. Which you do.
Took you a year.
Yeah.
Took you a year to call me. You know how many people have had, it took me like 2 years to give you a call.
Yeah, exactly.
In my mind, I don't know I'm that scary. I promise.
Right.
Because I know my heart.
Right.
But I forget I'm just, 330-pound former football player. Yeah. It loses me sometimes.
Oh, yeah. And then you see you, and I'm like, no way am I training with him. He'll kill me. I'll be dead. I can't handle this. And that's what I love about you, is you could train really any level of athlete. And that's respectable, because a lot of people can't. I've trained with other trainers. And just like I told you the first time we met, which I look back now and I think is so funny because of who you are. And I'm like, look, this body ain't built to run on a treadmill.
You did like, this is what I'm gonna do, and this is basically what I'm not gonna do. Don't do this. You came in, and I thought I took it. If I remember, I kind of just smiled at it.
You did.
And just like, all right,
okay,
and we'll do this, and we'll do that.
Yeah.
Because I can train around that. But I wasn't the trainer who you thought I'd be.
No, not at all. And looking back, we've been together 5 years training, and I've never done the same workout. And that's what I tell people sincerely. I honestly have walked in the gym in 5 years, 3 times a week, and never done the same workout. And that's what I love, because you can't prepare your mind. You can't say today's leg day, because you have no idea what day it is. And then you always work around either my mood, sometimes I'm killing it and I feel like a superstar, or I'm feeling down, and you work with bringing me out of that. Maybe it's just a stretching day and that kind of stuff. And not all people can do that. And the trainers that I work with in the past, they want to run me. And then I hate training because I hate running. Like, God created me to stand and fight.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I love about you. And I think that's why we've built such a great relationship, is we respect each other's opinion.
I respect the platform that I'm on. I respect where I came from, what I accomplished as far as the NFL is concerned, and that was a platform for me, and I respect it. I don't let it define me,
right.
But it's definitely a platform, and a platform to be able to train people. That's a platform to significantly change somebody's life. And I take those things personally. And I understand people for the most part. And you are We have a lot in common. I'll just call it a go-getter, I guess, on camera. But, you know, you're a determined person. The biggest thing with you was to just build trust. And once you had that trust, you were all in. And then I was able to kill you.
Right.
But I had to get your trust first, because you know, you do a lot of things on your own. You're independent in your own way, and thus the fact you told me what you were going to do when you first came in. But that again is where, you know, people look at me, you know, as a football player. People look at me as a trainer, but I got a bachelor's in psychology from Temple University. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I definitely bring that with me. So.
Good luck. You're gonna need it with me.
But I appreciate our time, and these 5 years you've seen me go from gym to gym, and you've seen me kind of be progressive in my training. But I also, you know, cherish that time with you, because I learned a lot, because I went from high school to college to the pros to Pueblo.
That's a pretty full circle.
So like that's how, like, and there was a lot of things I didn't know.
Right.
And then everybody tries to, you know, shove the whole Broncos thing down your throat, and it's like, I want to do more than that.
Right. You are more than that.
I want to be more than that, and you were that person in my life that allowed me to, and someone who I trusted. It kind of went both ways. Right. Like I trusted you to be able to give me advice and tell me when something was stupid, and tell me when something was worthwhile. So I'm very appreciative of that.
Well, you're welcome. That's why we're friends. When people are moving here, they always ask me, what is there? They tell me.
And that's the thing too, like these guys, these guys that we trained for the last 8 weeks, you know, they loved it. They, you know, we had Western Kentucky, Indiana, Coastal Carolina, Kansas University, Westchester, St. Francis, Central Michigan. We had 2 Air Force guys, and our community kind of, even yourself, helping us find a house for some of our athletes to stay in. Bay's Meat Market, who donated organic meat for them to be able to eat. Brews Ale House, the Clink, Nutritional Fuel, like good people, understanding, you know, to be able to bring people in, we got to kind of like show who we are, and to do that, we might have to give a little bit, and that's around the board. And these guys left not ever hearing of Pueblo, Colorado, and leaving like, you know, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Like having the river walk right here to look at every day to train. So this is one of those things where, you know, I've been in Pueblo since 2009, and you know, a year over a decade, and I'm definitely embedded here. But you know, obviously I wasn't born here, and the potential and the growth, and I really think this is like a big opportunity. And I think sometimes we miss that.
Right.
I don't know what that is, but I always looked at Pueblo like more, you know, half full than half empty. Right. And the people that I bring in, they just think it's a pretty cool place. I love it. You know what I mean? So it's and I think in the last couple of years or so, there's been a lot of good people in the community building things. And we're being progressive in our real estate. We're being progressive in our development. We're being progressive in our ideas. And honestly, I just want to be like a cog in the wheel that's a part of that. That's all. Me too. I'm excited about the next 5 years. I think we're going to see a lot of growth. I do. Exciting. I just want to thank you for spending your time with us this afternoon. I know you're super busy, and I appreciate it, and our community appreciates it, and thank you so much. That's all love, Jay. Okay, thanks, my friend. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more local businesses highlighted, just give us a follow on our page and see what's coming next. Thanks for watching.